welcome back to this cooking channel. I'm here with Noah again today. We're going to finish our chili. The other day we made the mirepoix. It's all seasoned and we made it in this big pot. So if I'm doing it all at once, I would do the mirepoix in here and the meat in this big giant 3-quart skillet. But since we did that previously and the big pot is clean, we're just going to use that. So, to do the meat in here, what we want to do is start with the seasonings in the pot. We don't want the meat to get unevenly seasoned. So we want a whole tablespoon of salt. I'm using sea salt. And just like in the previous video, I mentioned that my tablespoon is not going to fit in here. So I'm going to do 3 teaspoons, which equals 1 tablespoon. Did you know that? 3 teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon. 1, 2. Put it this side down so I can shove it to the front of the canister here. And again, if you're using conventional table salt, the way it measures is just a little bit differently, so you might want to go easy on that. And then it calls for 1 teaspoon of black pepper. 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, and again, as soon as I'm done measuring, I go put my spice box over somewhere else, so I know I've already measured it. So, tips for people with bad memories, right? Do you have a bad memory? Do you forget? Are you forgetful? I'm forgetful.
I don't know.
Well, I am. So here's my trick.
What?
I have all my spices in one spot. As soon as I'm done measuring them, I put the spice over in the other spot. Then I know I've done it. Okay. The last 2 things to measure are a tablespoon of chili powder and a tablespoon of cumin. And yes, we did do this for the mirepoix. They're pretty similar spices, but you'll find it helps keep this nice and spicy. And I don't add any red pepper to the meat because I've already got enough of it in the vegetables. So you can adjust that how you like it, but it will be too hot for me if I added extra. So I am going to do 3 teaspoons of this chili powder to equal 1 tablespoon. 1, 2. You know what else helps if you're forgetful?
What?
To say your countings out loud. I already said 1 and 2, now I say 3. In case you remember better what you've heard. And I've heard myself say 1 and 2 and 3. Say now the cumin. 1, 2, 3. Don't mind our dogs, they're scratching up the tile.
Actually, they're licking up.
Well, they're crazy. Okay. So, all the spices are in here. There we go. Very bright. We're going to mix these around with a little bit of water. Excuse me. Just enough to mix the spices properly. We don't need dogs in the food, please. We don't don't need fur in the food, so I'm keeping the dogs down. Do you want to stir this, Noah? Here, stir these spices. I'm going to adjust the camera angle so you can see better. They're almost as even. All right, so now that it's all one nice even mixture, we can add the meat in there and turn on the heat. Do you remember what we do before we turn on the heat? We make sure if we have long hair, we tie our hair back. If we have loose clothes, we tie our loose clothes back, push up our sleeves. But you have short sleeves.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't have short sleeves, so that's good.
Wow.
Because we don't want to get burned. And if we have a gas stove like we do, you don't want to get in the fire. Can you throw that string away? Here. There you go. Now we want about 2 pounds of ground beef.
That's a lot of beef.
I know, I am using the 80% lean, so 80-20. And the packages at Walmart where we got this were actually 2.25, 2.25 pounds. And that's fine. It doesn't really matter. With cooking, right, it's a little bit less of like a science experiment than baking. So you can kind of eyeball the measurements if you want. But this chili recipe is something I developed for my bakery cafe. And I wanted it to be the same. I wanted it to be the same every time. Okay. I forgot I like my slotted spoon for this, because then I can kind of smush it and it'll go through the slots. And I'll chop it up. Some people use one of those little, it's like a special meat chopper. I don't have one of those. And if you're curious, I have put this on high heat. Most things I don't cook on high heat because you don't want it to burn. Oops, sorry about that. But I haven't found any issue with cooking my ground meat on high heat, so that's fine. I'm just going to set the spoon over here. It'll be fine. That's going to get cooked. You don't want to set your spoon that touched the raw meat into anything that's not going to get cooked. Because we want to not get sick, right? From the raw meat. Even if some of us eat dough with a raw egg in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're not supposed to do that, but I do it. And
That's yummy.
yeah. But I personally would not do that with raw meat.
I think it was yummy.
I think so too. But, you know, sometimes when I was making cookie dough just to eat raw, sometimes instead of putting an egg in it, I would put a little bit of oil and a little bit of water. And it would give me the same consistency without using up an egg. But you can't bake it the same, I don't think. Oh my gosh, I keep bumping this camera. Okay, so since this is on high heat, but I just started it out, so it's getting nice and soft because the meat is warming up. So I can really mix those spices in there. Turning it over and smushing it down. Do you want to do some? You turn it over and you smush it down.
Okay.
You can hold this handle. It's not hot. Just careful of your handles and make sure they're not hot before you touch them.
How do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
How do you?
Well, you kind of touch real quick, so that if it is hot, it's not going to really burn you. If you just do a super quick touch.
Like, look.
Yeah. Just don't get beef overboard here. If you want to hold a tiny bit lower on the spoon, you get a little more control.
Can I get something?
Oh, okay. He's got some lovely kid-sized oven mitts, right?
And they actually work.
They do, yeah.
Which is very surprising.
Yeah.
Because they're just toy oven mitts.
Yeah, but they work, so let's do it. There you go.
My hands won't feel hot anymore.
That's right. I'll put some of these spices away while you mix. And we'll just wait for that meat to get nice and cooked. Then we'll just add the rest of the ingredients.
How long does it take to cook chili?
Well, the good thing about this is that I already cooked half of the stuff the other day.
Okay.
The vegetables the other day, because that takes a while. It's probably the longest step. We already got that out of the way. So people that have really busy lives like we do, they can do this in steps. Now today, because we're having Evelyn's birthday dinner, she chose chili. We can do the rest of the steps. We'll be ready when she gets out of school. But this meat, it shouldn't take very long. So we see how it's still see the red meat in there, and some of it's a little bit brown or grayish, grayish brownish. So some of it's getting cooked, and some of it's still raw. We're waiting until it's all cooked. No more red meat.
Yeah. If it's brown, that means it's done.
That's right.
If it's red, that means it's still raw.
Yeah. And I don't want to eat raw beef.
Yeah, I don't want to eat raw beef. Only a dog would want to eat raw beef.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Our dogs have eaten raw meat on purpose. Because their stomachs have higher acidity. And their stomachs can kill all those germs. Okay. But there's a difference between ground meat and just a cut of beef. So if you have a steak, then the only thing that has touched any cutting surface is the outside of the steak. So that's why some people will make sure the outside is cooked and eat steak even when it is pink in the middle. Hi, Ian. We're doing a cooking video. You want to come say hi first? Peek in here and say hi. Hello. That's not your face, but okay.
That's the back of your
Back
face.
of your head.
Yeah, that's back of
I
your
would
head.
like to do the taste test.
Well, that's not till later, but okay.
I'll do it.
What I was saying is, so when you're grinding the meat, that's a lot of surface area that touches the cutting tools. So, and the grinding tools. So that's where on the surface you can get all those germs. is why if you're using ground, you want to get all that surface area cooked. So really you need to get all of it cooked. This is looking almost all cooked.
I say it.
Looking cooked to me.
Yeah, look at it. You seem to be a little bit
Well,
more cooked.
since it's looking that way, I think I'm going to start getting some of the other ingredients ready. So, I'm using 2 cans of kidney beans. Some people, they don't like the beans and they leave them out. I like to put the beans in. So 1 can says it's 15 ounces, so if you have a can that's 15 ounces or close to it, that's fine. And what I like to do is rinse them first. So I'm going to open them up. Get whatever kind of strainer or colander you've got. Point this at the sink. I'm just going to rinse them out. See all my dishes there. Fine. We're cooking for real and we're cleaning for real. And we're busy for real. Dump these into the strainer. Let them rinse. As soon as the water drains out, I'm just going to put the empty can right here so I don't drip water all the way across the kitchen floor. And the other can, then I can rinse these cans out later for recycling. What, baby?
Can you send that video to me?
Sure. Do you want to dump these beans in or mix them or something?
I want to dump the beans in and mix them.
Okay. Okay, you stand over there. Look out, bean water.
Bean water.
Okay, here you go.
Goodbye.
Turn it over. Dump it. Just turn it. Okay, now stir it.
There's the beans.
I like to get the strainer rinsed out first before all these little tiny bean skin bits get dried on. That'll be really hard.
This is a lot of beans.
Yeah.
No
We're
wonder
making a very big pot of chili.
No wonder I always see tons and tons of beans when I have chili.
Yeah, there's 2 whole cans. So,
Oh, cans.
yeah. These are when I put in like a whole stick of butter. It's some people would kind of freak out. Oh no, a whole stick of butter. But as some chefs say, well, it's a whole pot. It's okay. Now here is my mirepoix. It's frozen. I'm gonna get it out of this bag. Excuse me. I'm gonna get it out of the bag. I broke it into bits. Can you wait till I get all of it, please? Almost there. There we go. Okay, that is going to thaw out, mix in there. And it's okay that it cools the rest of the mixture off for a bit because we've already got the beef cooked just fine. Okay. So if we had just made this mirepoix in this big pot, we would have made the ground beef in the big fat skillet, right? Yeah. So then we would just pour that ground beef skillet into it.
Okay.
And then there would be no waiting for thawing. The thawing won't take that long. It'd be much faster than just to cook the mirepoix. So I'm glad we did that earlier. party.
So we'll use your phone.
We can cover it if you want and let the steam help it out. Or you can just keep mixing it.
You have to make sure the cover is the same size as the pot.
That's true.
So it can fit perfectly on.
Yeah, I have lids that came with this, so it'll be just fine. And I love these pots. That's not the right size. I'll show you. I'll show you the lid that came with this. This right here is the lid that came with the set, and it fits on this big pot, soup pot. It also fits on that big 10-inch, I think it's 10-inch, the 3-quart skillet. So that's good. Now, I'm going to get these ready. This is the last ingredient I used, is tomatoes. So you can use the canned tomatoes. You'll need 2 of the strained or pureed and 2 of the chopped or diced. The ones that I get in these little boxes, they label them strained and chopped tomatoes. So 2 of the strained and 2 of the chopped. And I use the box tomatoes or the ones in glass containers, glass jars or something. I just don't like the flavor of the ones that come in the cans because then it tastes a bit metallic to me.
I feel like onions in chili. You can add some. You can cook some onions in the pot as well.
Well, guess what? You're in luck because that vegetable mixture that was frozen, there's onions in that.
Okay.
Because mirepoix is just a fancy French word that means a mixture of onions, carrots, and celery. So we had half of the pot onion, and then 1/4 carrot and 1/4 celery. I cooked them all up in butter and spices.
And if you like potatoes, you can chop up some. You can peel skin off them and chop them.
Well, that's an interesting idea for chili. I never thought to do that.
And you can put the potatoes in the pot if you want. If you like potatoes in your chili.
I've done that for stew. You know what I've done for chili though?
What?
I have made like an extra vegetable chili. So I still have the meat in it. I still have the beans in it, but I've added like zucchini in it and
Ew.
lots of big carrot chunks.
I don't like zucchini.
Yeah, it's okay. So you can make it however you like.
You can put extra carrots in.
Mm-hmm.
You can put some chopped up tomatoes in if you want.
Well, these are tomatoes. So with these boxes, I just like to open up the little side flaps and kind of smush this so it stands up nice and straight. Fold it out. Then I can kind of either chop off a corner or cut off the whole top. I just cut off the whole top. That's what I do. Now I want to wash the scissors because they got tomato juice all over.
Tomato juice.
Yeah. So these vegetables, the mirepoix in here, are just about thawed. And this spoon and all these tomatoes, they have to get cooked all the way through. I have to make sure they get to boiling and kill off any germs from the raw meat that this spoon had touched. That was one of chopped tomatoes, and these little boxes are measured out at 26.46 ounces. So whatever your can or box or glass jar says is totally fine. if it's close to 26, 28, whatever ounces. You might end up, you don't want to overflow your pot, of course, so be mindful of that.
Now overflow the pot with tomato juice.
My pot.
That's a lot of tomato juice.
Yeah, my pot is just enough to hold all of this.
If you want to go wait somewhere, you can grab a drink or something. You can just sit near the chili and drink.
Okay, so
While you wait for the chili to be done.
I'm going to do a little light stirring. I don't want to make a big fat mess.
So you don't spill tomato juice all over the stove.
I know, and I just cleaned the stove up a bit last night so that it wouldn't be too gross in the video, right? So everybody's stove gets kind of gross.
Yeah, everyone's stove gets pretty dirty from the stuff you cook on it.
Yeah, because we really cook on it. But then when it's hot, we don't want to clean it because that hurts, right? Oh, it burns. Okay, so I'm going to let that get nice and hot. Not only will it kill off any raw meat germs from the spoon and the box of tomatoes I stuck it in, but it'll help all the flavors and all the spices really work their way in to the tomatoes and the beef. So that's gonna be it. I like these kind of lids. These ones you can see through and know what's happening in your pan. That's why I bought these emerald ware.
Okay.
But you can get them in a lot of different brands now.
Mommy,
What?
is that the end of the video?
I think this is gonna be it because we're not gonna have much left to show them. It's gonna look just like this, but it's gonna be hot all the way through and bubbling.
You can just wait until it looks done.
Yeah, we're gonna wait till it's nice and bubbly.
Wait till it's bubbly.
Because we know that it's boiling and that it's killing off any germs.
When water bubbles on the stove, that means you're boiling water.
Yeah. So I never turned my stove down from high. So I'm gonna leave it there for a bit. Stir it occasionally so it doesn't burn on the bottom. And as soon as it's hot enough, it starts to bubble, I'm gonna turn it down and let it simmer. And food safety tip, if you are going to leave this on the stove, like we might do, waiting for Evelyn to get home from school, then I would just put it on low. Once it's as hot as it needs to be, just put it on low. You need it to stay at a hot temperature, or else it will start to grow bacteria. So we'll do that, and then we'll show you a picture. We can load up pictures of how we're going to eat it later. I like to put cheddar cheese on top.
Yummy.
And sour cream on
Yummy.
top. And eat it with tortilla chips.
Yummy.
So what do you guys like to put on your chili or with your chili? Anything else? I've heard people use cornbread. Eat cornbread with it sometimes.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question? What do you want them to say? What's your question?
My question is...
Did you forget your question? What is it? We're going to end the video. Tell your question.
What are you gonna do after you're done eating your chili?
Okay. I know what we're going to do.
What?
Eat white chocolate chip cookies.
Yummy.
Okay. Bye. See you next time.
Bye.